G'day everyone and welcome to the Aussie Cousins Wrestling Show, and we are going through our Backlash review for 2025. Let's dive straight into it. So the first match is for the United States title, and it is of course a defending Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest versus LA Knight. Drew McIntyre always gets a win after a Claymore on LA Knight, but Damian Priest screws Drew McIntyre once again by pulling the referee out of the ring. The two of them fight all around the arena, manage to get to a production stage where Damian Priest gives him the south of heaven off the production stage into some tables. Those two are out of the equation for the rest of the match. Solo Sikoa then comes out to help Jacob Fatu, which of course he doesn't want that to happen. And then a debuting Jeff Cobb absolutely destroys LA Knight to a very good reaction from the crowd before Jacob Fatu brings him back into the ring, does his beautiful moonsault, gets the win and retains the title. So Mike, what did you think of this match?
Good, fun match to get the night started off. The crowd was into it. It was good to see Drew and Damian do that massive spot, because it also can lead to other things from now, maybe going into maybe more of a cage match coming up as well. But it put them out, which really emphasised on LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. I thought it was a good spot. Jeff Cobb come out. The crowd reaction was insane. It was really good. People knew who he was as soon as he turned around, which is good. He did his spot perfectly. And I actually give props to LA Knight. He actually stepped up. This, for me, was his best match he's ever done.
Yeah, LA Knight had a really good night, and I do like his chemistry with Jacob Fatu. I think they've got really good chemistry in the ring, and I wouldn't mind seeing them sort of having a bit of a blow-off match between the two of them. Jeff Cobb's pop from the crowd, I didn't expect it. Like, I expect some people to go, oh yeah, cool, Jeff Cobb. But it was big. I'm really impressed with that, and he just looked fantastic. So he is going to be a new destroyer by the looks of things for Solo Sikoa. I hope this leads to some sort of split between Jacob and Solo, because Jacob just needs to go out on his own and be his own man now with the title. Next up is the Women's Intercontinental match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. After kicking out of the manhandle slam a couple of times, Lyra fights back against Becky Lynch. They get into a bit of a roll-up war, which is eventually won by Lyra Valkyria. After she might have suffered a broken nose, Becky Lynch then immediately gets back in the ring and beats up Lyra. She holds her down with it, disarm her to basically confirm her heel turn from a week earlier. Alright Mike, how did you see this one?
I thought this was the best match of the night. It was brilliant. My love for Lyra has now gone next level. She performed out amazingly this match. She really stepped up to Becky's level. You got to feel for her with the broken nose, because it looked like she was trying to hold her nose in one place, to be honest. The match was good. It just was good attrition, went longer than I expected, just a really high quality match.
Yeah, that's right. And look, there was a couple of like missed spots and a little bit of botchiness every now and then, but it was more in a way of these two were like really scrapping and fighting each other. It wasn't that they missed a spot that they rehearsed earlier on. It was like one of them tried to block something that the other one was trying to do. I thought it was really good. In terms of the actual wrestling, I think this is the best match of the night for me. I think the most fun match of the night was the first one, but this one for me was the best actual wrestling match. No Bayley coming out, which I think we both predicted in the lead up to this event. But so that's interesting. I think there's got to be something with Bayley coming back really soon. There is Money in the Bank, of course, in a few weeks. Maybe there's something there happening with her. But again, a fantastic match. Lyra Valkyria is just stepping up to the next level, which is what Becky Lynch has always wanted her to do. And the crowd is now really getting behind her, which is just fantastic to see. And what would also be fantastic to see is if you guys click on that subscribe button and help us Aussies out on our way to 500 subscribers. We are almost there. If you help us out, we would be so appreciative of that. Now let's get back into it. The third match of the night was Dominik Mysterio putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line against Penta. So when the Judgment Day inevitably interfered, Finn Balor took way too long to get a chair. The referee spots all this action going on the outside. He does the "you're out of here" to all the Judgment Day members. Penta then fights them all off. Finn Balor still hangs around for some reason, but in all that confusion, El Grande Americano gets onto the top rope. He does the headbutt to Penta, of course, with the loaded mask, with that metal plate in his mask. Penta lays back. Dominik Mysterio capitalizes with the frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, thoughts on this match?
A bit all over the shop, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dom is now the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time.
Oh, clearly.
He announced it. Definitely just all over the shop. spots seemed to be missed at times. It was a good, solid match. I thought they should have a bit more chemistry together.
Yeah.
As they've worked before, but a good, solid match. Yeah, I just think it was a bit all over the shop at times.
Yeah, I really liked Dominik Mysterio's dive to the outside straight into the DDT.
Yeah, that was very good.
Clearly, he's not been doing that kind of stuff because he's a heel, but I think when he does eventually go like full-on babyface, if that is going to happen, I think he can actually do a lot more than what he's showing in the ring. It's always been the meme of him being just a really rubbish worker, but I actually generally think he's got so much better, especially over the last kind of year. His character work is just probably one of the best in the entire company, to be honest.
How's he doing Oblivion?
Yeah.
During the match.
We've got to talk about that. So that is genuinely one of the best spots in the night for me.
Yeah.
So him saying that, wait a minute, I was trying to get him onto the ropes to do the 619, and then going, hold up. Yeah. I know something that I can do right now. He hits the Oblivion. When have you ever seen a man hit his girlfriend's move in wrestling? It happens the other way around, but I don't think I've seen that.
Pop from the crowd. They knew what had happened.
They knew what was going on. That was absolutely fantastic from Dom. I think he's doing really, really well in the ring. As you said, it was more of like a Raw match, to be honest.
Yes.
I don't think we could have expected too much else, but Dominik Mysterio continues on his winning ways with the title. The fourth match of the night was Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Michael Cole came up from the announce desk to help out Pat McAfee on the outside to essentially manage him, and then he does the Bobby Heenan trick of holding down the leg of Gunther while Pat McAfee goes for the pin. 1, 2, thankfully Gunther kicks out, because I thought that was going to be the win for a second there. And then after Gunther remonstrated with Michael Cole, Pat McAfee got a bit of moves in. Gunther got back on top, put him in the sleeper, and eventually chokes Pat McAfee out. There's a little tip of the cap to Gunther to his opponent at the end. Mike, what do you think of this match?
If you're looking for a wrestling match, this was never going to be it. I thought it was actually a good match, to be honest. It's good to see Gunther was allowed to still keep his powerhouse and actually promote him back up to being this powerhouse workhorse. It was good that Pat McAfee got his chances too to have a little momentum, but not too much. Gunther would still get on top after every 30 seconds a minute. It was a good match. Maybe went a little bit longer than what I expected, but I actually think it was a good match. Michael Cole's spots are a little bit all over the shop, but I don't expect much from him. You can't expect him to do. He's not really involved a lot in that stuff. So yeah, I think generally a good match.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have looked at the match just at the timing of it and seen 14 and a half minutes and going, I think it was 14 and a half minutes, and they have seen that Gunther should have been destroying Pat McAfee in a couple of minutes, but the whole story of the match is that Gunther could have beaten him at any point in time, but he chose not to. And every time he chose not to, that's when he let Pat McAfee get a few things in the door. So then Gunther had to fight his way to get back on top. That is what is going on there. So Gunther is trying to be this arrogant heel, but it's costing him, which is what cost him at WrestleMania this year and at WrestleMania last year. There's a story being told there. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 minutes too long, but it wasn't something that should have been an absolute squash match.
And Pat McAfee's mantra is that he's always fighting as the underdog in matches. That's his thing. That's what his thing. It's what he believes in.
And his whole promos in the lead up were that he's loyal to the soil for Michael Cole. Like, he will literally get choked out to protect his friend Michael Cole. And that's what he did. So it was all part of the story. Gunther can now elevate himself back up to the main event scene, which he's going to do. He has got a title match coming up in early June. Big shout out to Wade Barrett, by the way. He was absolutely fantastic throughout the entire night, but especially in this match, and even when he had to go solo in this match. But he did an Alan Partridge quote of, "He's got a foot like a traction engine," and that made me pop. Thank you, Wade Barrett. And the last match of the night was John Cena versus Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship. While the referee was down, Randy Orton was setting up for the punt kick before R-Truth came in to help out John Cena and get in the way. He got an RKO for his troubles. A bit later, a plethora of producers get RKOs, as well as Nick Aldis. John Cena hits him with a low blow and a belt shot. John Cena gets the win against Randy Orton. Mike, let rip with this one.
I don't know what to think of this. It was better than the WrestleMania match with Cena. Cena did try and make it quicker, escalate it, a little bit better. I just think it was just out of control. It just become silly at times. I don't know why R-Truth's involved. I know he's seen his fan, but it didn't make any sense. It was all over the shop again, but it just made no sense. Deep down, I was praying that Orton won, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But just, I don't know. It's still, at the moment, it's been a bit underwhelming, this title reign.
And I think one of the issues that this title reign has at the moment is that we know John Cena isn't going to lose the belt for quite a while. Like, there is not really any jeopardy to these matches, and we know they're probably going to end in some really crappy kind of cheating way.
Yeah.
Again, a low blow and a belt shot. Like, let's change that up a little bit. That's 2 in a row. So there's nothing else to these matches other than just watching them happen until John Cena wins. Like, there needs to be more in this before this actually really takes off. The storyline has been so underwhelming since John Cena turned heel, and I think that's because they needed to do something to please The Rock because he was in attendance at Elimination Chamber, so that's what they did. And then there was no real plan going forward for what's actually going to happen. So I did appreciate the fact that they actually did try and keep the pace up in this match, unlike the John Cena and Cody Rhodes match, which the pace was just treacle throughout the whole thing. So I really liked the pace that they tried to keep for it. I was very worried that it was going to be completely bogged down, but it wasn't too much. And then it just descended into carnyism towards the end, which some people love that. Some people really hate that. It's always going to be very divisive, and that's what it was in the end. But as we said, at least it was better than the WrestleMania match.
It sort of helped also Orton being in his hometown, home city, that he was RKOing everybody. That's what got the crowd going, and that was the main part of it. But it still was a bit average. Yeah,
that's right. And I think if the crowd wasn't so involved, this would be one of the worst matches for quite a while, because they then were able to play off the crowd too, and that really did help. So great booking for them to have this in St. Louis.
It made sense.
Gotta praise them for that, because originally I think it was supposed to be another international PLE, but they've changed it to St. Louis. That was really good, that side of it. Not a great match though. Alright, so if you've watched our channel before, you would know that we have a Wrestling Predictions League here, and going into this event, Mikey was up 37-33 overall for the year. And Mikey gets 4 points right for this one, where he got Jacob Fatu, Dominik Mysterio, Gunther, and John Cena right, whereas I got 3 points for this one because I went for a bit of an angle in the men's Intercontinental match. So I only got Jacob Fatu, Gunther, and John Cena right for this one. So that takes the points 41 for the year to Mikey, 36 for the year for me. I am 5 points behind. I can't even get that in a regular PLE at this stage. So this is going to be a tough road back for me. If you want to get involved in this Wrestling Predictions League, once we get up to the required levels in YouTube, we are hoping to open this up to more and more people. Just click on that subscribe button for us and like the video so it gets sent out to more people. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought of Backlash 2025 and what was your match of the night. And of course, the most important thing from us is we hope that you all have a wonderful day.